Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm currently at a charger, so that gives me 10-15 minutes to remind the algorithm that I do exist. So we're going to do some of your questions which you've left in the comments in other videos. Okay. So first up is one from Michael O'Shea 5505. And he comes up with a very simple question of what happens when you get a proper cyber attack on your EV and charging stations. There are people out there collecting and storing 0 days just for that. It will be interesting. Yeah, it will be interesting. It will be very interesting. I'm not going to lie. If there was a cyber attack, it'd be very difficult to charge my car. I probably wouldn't be able to use a public charger like this. I probably might be able to use, provided there is electricity generally, able to use the dumb charger at home to charge this car, or a free pin plug. If I had a petrol car and there was a massive cyber attack, the chances are they would also target petrol stations. So the wider infrastructure, especially if it was payment infrastructure and you wouldn't be able to pay for petrol, then petrol stations aren't going to give it away for free. So you'll be in similar levels of awkwardness with that. And when that runs out, your tank of fuel in your car runs out and you can't buy any more fuel, you've got a problem. When you've got a battery full of electrons, or even if you've got partly electrons, you run that and it runs out, there will probably be somebody in your street who you might be able to give cash to use their wall charger, and they might have solar on the roof. Or they may still have, if there is still power, you can use a free pin plug, or you can use a dumb charger like me. Hopefully that answers your question, Michael. Next one is from Varisto2. This is my picture of EVs. Silly expensive to buy, very expensive to insure, massively expensive tyres, bigger tyre wear, and you still have maintenance cost that is not dirt cheap. You have to invest in a wall charger at home. Everything in your environment affects your distance you go. It's a silly game trying to find a free charger on a road trip. You should stay in 20 to 80% battery capacity, not to speed charge. If you want to have a long battery life, cost of charging varies greatly. You have to drive 160,000 kilometers before the car is more environmentally friendly than a combustion car. And if you change your car often, it never becomes good for the environment. Then you are worse off than with a V8 diesel. Just fap for wealthy men, a toy. Wow, that's a lot, Mr. Risto. Silly expensive to buy. No, they're not. To be honest, yes, they are slightly more expensive than a petrol or diesel version. I will grant you that. The Vauxhall Frontiera is going to be sold at the same price as its hybrid version. If you look at most hybrid cars nowadays, especially plug-in hybrids, they have the same cost as a battery electric vehicle. When it comes to things like Peugeot 208s, 2008s, they're £5,000 to £10,000 difference, depending on when in the year you buy them. Because if you buy them towards the end of the year, surprisingly, Stellantis want to meet their goals, so that price may come down and be pretty close to parity. What else did you have here? Bigger tyre wear? Nope. Sorry, it just doesn't happen. I've done 8,000 miles in an Enyaq and still had the little tyre hairs on the side of the tyres when I'm handing back for cars. Yeah, I've gone through tyres in an equivalent size and weight diesel. It's not what you figure. Since early doors, yes, fully revamped, but when tyre companies got on board and started making EV-specific tyres, which aren't actually that much more expensive, if at all, those tyres last longer because they're actually built to deal with the weight and the torque. Silly, more expensive insurance. Did a little thing. I'll put up a thing of when I had the Enyaq and when I had the Audi last year. It was actually cheaper to have the Enyaq. So don't believe that one. Maintenance, you still have maintenance cost. Excuse me, my cough and my throat. yes, you still do have maintenance costs. It's an inspection cost. Tesla introduced what's called a brake service, a brake lubrication service, sorry, which basically means because the brakes don't get used as much, they have to take them to bits and reapply the non-friction grease on the back so that the pad doesn't stick to the pot and the caliper, and that the pad will actually move along its sliders properly. They've had to introduce that. Ford, Vauxhall, and other brands are actually coming out with different ways of servicing your cars, because that's obviously a money generator for them. If you watch Aging Wheels on YouTube, watch his video from 100,000 miles on his Polestar. It's hilarious what the 100,000 mile service is. And that might be the first time that a car gets seen by a dealership, because there's no oil changes, there's no oil to change, there's no fuel filters, no air filters, no spark plugs, no spark plug leads, no timing belts, no water pumps. Well, there is water pumps, but not in the same way as you have in an internal combustion engine car. So what else did you have? Everything in your environment affects your distance. I'm going to break a little bit of a fourth wall here and say, yes, it does, but it also does for a petrol or diesel car. My other half's Golf, which has just gone back, used to do during the summer around 36 miles per gallon in summer conditions. During the very, very cold weather recently, it was barely breaking 30 miles per gallon. So it does affect petrol and diesel cars. Yes, battery electrics are affected slightly other. But one thing that you do get in, I've mentioned this before, is the ability, which you have on some hybrids and mostly on battery electric vehicles, which is the ability to precondition. So rather than going out and scraping the windows every single morning in freezing conditions, you just tap your phone and the electronic screen heater comes on, front and rear, clears that out, the air conditioning comes on, and the car is toasty warm. Some cars even let you put the steering wheel heater and the seat heater on. Perfect. So swings and roundabouts on that one. Good. It's a silly game trying to find a free charger on a road trip. When you say a free charger, I'm guessing you mean a vacant or available charger. And right now I'm sat on an Ionity with only 6 chargers, which is small for an Ionity, and there is a space there. There's a guy backing in behind us into a vacant spot. So getting a free charger, and I think I showed you on the Bruges video and on other videos, there are plenty of chargers around. So some of these views are quite old, and please, Mr. Risto, feel free to just, I'll say this to everybody, if you haven't experienced EV World, try it. Don't listen to what Dave down the pub says, or what Sarah says in the office canteen that she heard from her nail person's second husband's wife's doctor, that EVs are crap, because go out, experience it. Excuse me. A lot of manufacturers now are having extended test drives, and it's a great thing to do to download an app like ZapMap or Charge Finder or Electroverse, have a car for a weekend, go and experience your normal daily routine and see what it's like. Okay, next one. Is from the Electric Hobo 829. I don't know what the 829 relates to, but he's an electric hobo. Good for him. And that's hobo, not never mind. Now tow a caravan with an EV and then try and charge it at a service area with the caravan on back. No way I am unhitching my caravan and leaving it unattended while I charge every 100 miles. EVs are crap. Well, Mr. Electric Hobo, I feel there's a kind of conflict in your name and what you're saying. You seem to be very electric, but very anti-electric. But I fully support your message. Shock. Towing with an EV is a genuine pain in the backside. To try and stop me coughing, I'm going to have something to drink. It is a pain in the backside. I have done towing with an EV. There are more chargers, pull-through chargers available and coming online, which makes it easier, but at the moment there just isn't the infrastructure. And yes, you do have to unhook your either trailer with a car on it, and then go and charge your car, then come back, reattach, go, and then it was about 125 miles I was getting out between charges. Okay, next one is from Twin Ring 3849. I don't know what the numbers are for, but you know, Twin Ring 3849. 3846, sorry. I apologise massively for my voice and for the coughing. I am not exactly well at the moment. You can't change gear, rev match, or heel and tow, which I love to do in my Golf GTI and my ZC33S Swift. I love those cars, by the way. I love Swift Sports. And you can't do that in an electric car, so that's why I'm not buying one. Cool. Yep, you can't heel and tow in these. There's no gears to change, so yes, I fully get that. If that's what you do on a daily basis and that's the only reason you get in a car is to go and heel and tow up and down the gearbox, you can't heel and tow up the gearbox. But you know what I mean. If that's your life and that is completely what you live off of, then great. You do you. Stay with a petrol car, stay with a diesel car for as long as you want. There's another one. What else are we going to go for? Paul M7448. My hand stinks of diesel. What a... I'm not going to read that word out, but yeah. Haven't you heard diesel suit gets the moot? No, I don't know what the moot is. I'm going to guess that it's a word for a lady garden, and that being tough and manly and all diesel gets you the women. Well, congratulations, Paul M7448. If you're not too distracted by currently burying your head in the moot, then thanks, mate. Thanks for feedback. Yeah, I don't like my hands stinking of diesel. I'm sorry if that makes me homosexual. It doesn't, by the way. But if it did, I apologise for that offending you, you snowflake. Okay, I think that's all of them so far. One which I do get a lot and I perfectly appreciate. This is from Mark Stefano. Not many people have the privilege of a free car and electricity and home charging. You'll pay more in tyres, brakes, suspension, plus the government plans to charge higher tax rates for electricity for charging tax. As I say on pretty much every single video, I am a massively privileged, spoiled, pain in the arse for having a company car. I appreciate that and I understand that. I get to change it very, very often, and I love this fact that I get to do this. I don't get free electricity very often, except for if there is a charger at work, which is becoming more rarer and rarer because more people are turning to electric. So trying to find a free charger at work is getting difficult, because understandably people want to charge their cars for free. The home charging thing, there is a video in my other videos of where I spent a week not using my home charger, not using the chargers at work, and using public chargers and public chargers only. So it is possible. So yes, it is a privilege if I get that, but it can be done without. You'll pay more for tyres, brakes and suspension. We have covered this. You wouldn't know this, but we have just covered this in this thing. Suspension is also not a thing. Cleveland EV, who do servicing for EV models, they've got a YouTube channel. James and Kate have their own channel, and they've done 150,000 miles in a couple-year-old MG5 up and down the motorway. It's still on its original brakes after 150,000 miles. It's still fairly certain it's still on the original shocks. I've asked him on comments, what about bushes and stuff, because they wear out, and he goes, nope, original. And so yes, if you live in an area with shitty roads, like any car, the suspension will deteriorate. But again, like any car, and probably with age as well, the rubber will deteriorate at a similar level. Have we got any more? This is one from the diesel update. I cannot hear anything over the sound of your loud diesel engine. Wow. Either that or get a better microphone. Got a better microphone. Thank you very much for that, by the way. That was Satnam Manam 8232. Oh, cool. What else have we got? Have we got any more? No, that's it. So, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for being part of this. I hope this has answered some of your questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. And I will happily read them out and have another session of this next time I'm charging. The car has now been charged for now 4 or 5 minutes. So I'll go and unplug because I'm taking up a space which somebody else could use, because as my friend there pointed out, it's really, really difficult to find a charger, even though the person beside me has left. That's still empty, that one's still empty, and that one's now empty. So yeah, I will see you shortly. Thank you very much for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hopefully next time you hear from me, I'll have a voice, hopefully. Bye.